you've been at Greatland for about a year now. How do you feel you've performed in the role as CEO, and what have been some of your highlights from the past year?
Hi, Dannika. Good to catch up again. And yeah, it has been just over a year. It's been a busy but really good fun last 12 months. I think when I think about the major achievements, it's around the team. We've really built up the team from first principles in two ways. Firstly, we had a team scattered across 2 countries and multiple offices. Now we really just have that team in one location here in Perth, which is close to the asset, so we can get boots on the ground even through this kind of COVID period. And also we've built up that team. Adding mining engineering and processing really allows us to go from understanding part of the Haveron puzzle, the geology, which I think we understood very well, but extending that, broadening out that exploration team, but also adding these disciplines of mining engineering, processing, and finance as well. So we're a more comprehensive capability, and that allows us to engage better into the joint venture. And that's perhaps the other big change here, is the amount of engagement we have with Newcrest. It's a building and strengthening relationship, but we've switched to monthly meetings, which I think is really positive from the previous quarterly engagement. And all this allows us to have more influence, understand our asset, and be better owners of that 30% stake in Haveron. So it's been a really busy year, building us up from first principles, but I think very successfully so.
That's fantastic. So I guess looking ahead to 2022, what is Greatland focusing on, and what can investors expect from the company this year?
Yeah, look, 2022, we're in this transition year. In 2023, I'd like to say that we'll be in production, which is obviously a huge milestone for us. But during this year, we'll continue to focus on that exploration and the growth. But also, again, it's about continuing to building our foundations. During the last year, I talked about people in the last question, and I should have added to that the board as well. We added Paul Hallam, who's a really well-respected person with some considerable mining experience, including at Newcrest, including at Fortescue. His addition to the board has been terrific. And again, I think what we'd like to do is continue to add more talent to the board, or augment the talent on our board. And I think that gives us more opportunity within the marketplace. And I think if we can surround the company and bring in more A-grade talent, both on the board and within the management team, it gives us a higher probability for success. So continuing to develop that board is going to be a really core focus for us this year. But also just continue to punch into that the Haveron ore body and build it up. Because remember, that study was only really on that fraction of the ore body in the southeast crescent. As we continue to drill, we're starting to see more and more and understand more and more about the broader opportunity at Haveron, which we think is world-class, and that is increasingly apparent.
Well, touching on Haveron, you've had some great results recently with the detection of the new zone of mineralisation. What are some of the key takeaways from this?
I think if you look at the body of work over the last 12 months, every drill hole we hit, has mineralised into intercepts, which is an extraordinary outcome. And then as you go through, look, we're targeting that southeast crescent. It's an incredibly consistent and high-grade zonation. So that's incredibly pleasing. And then as we've drilled more, we've identified whole new areas, such as that eastern breccia, where we now have, say, half a dozen plus 200-metre intercepts running through that eastern breccia. Haveron doesn't need to expand to be world-class, but it's amazing that we have that eastern breccia. And then if we look at the most recent set of drill results, you see that 70-metre intercept at plus 6 grams into that eastern breccia, which was traditionally, we've seen more running at around 1.5, 2 grams. So seeing that kind of high-grade intercept, that's really interesting. And I think it opens up, firstly, it's about 200 metres further to the south. So that's interesting as to what it does to the size of that eastern breccia. The other way to look at it is we're getting southeast crescent zone grades down in that area. So does that lend itself to another high grade area? Does the southeast present move down in that direction? But that was a stunning intercept. And really, when you start getting intercepts of that grade over that width, you really do feel you're on something. So really excited about that result. But it's one in so many good results, and Haveron just continues to give, and that's all part of delivering firstly this startup mine as the southeast present, tailor-made for our balance sheet, drive in, get into production, move that high grade ore through the mill and generate free cash flow, but then to reinvest into the broader Haveron opportunity. It's brilliant to work on an ore body like this.
Is there anything exciting happening on the front of the other projects that you've got in your portfolio?
Yeah, look, we continue to drill in that Patterson area, including on the mining lease itself. I think that's actually some really interesting ground there. And there's no better place to look for gold copper than where it's already been found. So looking on that mining lease, but again, on 100% owned scallywag, that's to the northwest, directly along structure from Haveron. So you'll continue to see us drill through there. And then as you move further to the northwest onto the Jury joint venture ground, it's not drilling season just now. It's wet and hot up there. So we tend to do the planning and pull back from boots on the ground at this time of year, unless they're supported by the full kind of Haveron camp. But as we kind of move into the June quarter, you'll see those drills spinning again, which will be excellent. And it's a tremendous place and has great option value in the portfolio. In addition to that, you'll see us spend some time elsewhere in the portfolio. And the one we're really keen to get into is that Ernst Giles. Ernst Giles, Archean greenstone belt, under-drilled, underexplored, associated with a lot of the gold mineralisation discovered in Western Australia. So we're really looking forward to that. But that's a First Nations issue. We really think we'll probably have that agreement this year and potentially even be spinning on a drill rig at the back end of this year. But certainly like to think our full access agreement will be sorted in the short term. And that's a beautiful project to get involved in.
Wow, so much going on. It's great that you've built out the team so you're able to run everything concurrently. Is there any other comments you'd like to share with investors?
Look, I think just that 2022 is a really busy year. It's jam-packed. We're going to continue to do the exploration drilling, both growth and in-drill, which I think leads to improved resource and reserve statements, which I think are a good catalyst for value. On top of that, we'd like to be fully funded. There's a debt piece, which perhaps cornerstones that. We have that 5% option out there with Newcrest. In some ways, that's part of this transition to getting onto an even keel. So, we're spending a lot of time, energy, and effort working through that to try to get a fair result for Greatland shareholders. And then as we move into the back half of the year, we have the feasibility study, which already is flagged to be 50% bigger than the pre-feasibility study. And of course, on the back of that, you have the financial investment decision, or the final investment decision. And then we're inside of 12 months to first production. So yeah, look, good fun, lots to do, but increasingly we're comfortable that we have a team to deliver that and deliver it really well for the benefit of shareholders.